Hello, everybody, and welcome to the UCI Homecoming League of Legends match. It's week 5 of the Collegiate League of Legends Western Conference, and things are going to be heating up today in a very exciting match between UCI and UW. UCI so far is 3-1. They're having a great run so far, and I'm really hyped to see what they're going to bring to the table today. I'm Spencer Ultravox Cameraman, joined by my co-caster Jamel Asprin Hopkins.
Hello, everyone. Another exciting week in the Collegiate Series for League of Legends right here. UCI looking very strong this run, only dropping one match versus Fullerton. So I'm really excited to see how we'll come back from it, how our exchanges, our team fights are going to be going. But we're actually just going to jump right on into the game and get on with game one.
Yeah. Oh, so let's check this out here. We don't get to see the champion select, unfortunately, but we do get to see the beautiful players taking to the Rift already. It looks like we got Kochip on Vladimir, alongside Mike Young on Kindred, some sort on the Galio, and Young and Kindon on the Thresh. Now that is an aggressive bot lane. That just screams out at me. Pressure this lane. Gonna get some early kills. Gonna try to take advantage of the weak laning phase that Eigenrector is going to be playing here. So I'm excited to see what Youngbin and Kimdown are going to be able to do here.
On the other side, I'm really interested by this Vayne Lulu pick. Lulu can be using Moonstone, although we don't see too much of that pick in competitive play. Combining that with the Vayne is going to be a really nice late game threat. I think that's the goal for UW right here. Just look to scale into the late game. Don't give up too many kills early on, because UCI loves to just find many mistakes in the enemy team and then make macro rotations off of that, get the level 4 bot lane dive going, and then snowball the game out of the control from there. Yeah,
right. And their whole strategy, kind of hinges on getting the Vayne to late game, like you said, and then also they have this the Hecarim Zillion combo that we saw TSM pull out a lot in their Miracle run last season in the LCS. This is a really fearsome strategy, I'd say. You just make Hecarim as fast as possible with the speed boost from Zillion. Get him on in there, get him to engage. You open it up for Gnar to follow up with some big CC. You open that up for Eigenrector to go ham. And, it's really tough to deal with, because just movement speed, if you don't have the hard CC to deal with it, movement speed is broken in League of Legends.
The team composition definitely favors that mid to late game team fighting. When you have the Zillion, can pull double duty, getting the ultimate onto Vayne, keeping them alive, combining that with Lulu and Eigenrector can be a very huge late game threat. And then just in the mid game with skirmishes, getting Drago nice and fast, basically with Zillion's kit, can be, like you said, a very viable strat, even if it's coming from an 06 team. But that's beside the point here. As we continue on in the laning phase, we're seeing a little bit of a CS lead going over to Youngbin, just really trying to stretch as much of that lead as possible when you have that Misfortune versus Vayne matchup.
Yeah, you gotta keep on applying this pressure. You gotta be strong when you can. Youngbin did start tier this time though. Some sort's going in there. He's gonna get the taunt off. You got Mike Young in the back, but he's not gonna be able to follow up on the platform from Vivamus Mori. He's gonna try to finish this off. He gets the first blood, but he will trade his life for that. Pretty bold play going in there, but you like to have the kills on the Kindred. Not gonna be too bad.
Yeah, that's a interesting trade. You get the first blood on the Zillion, but giving Mike Young that snowball is going to be a interesting trade for just an extra 100 gold here. You can already see Mike Young looking towards bot side.
Yeah, he's trying to get on in here. He's going to go out from him down, but it will go wide. And unfortunately, I don't think they're strong enough quite yet to pull off the signature level 3, level 4 dive. They probably want some sort to be able to join them too, and he's used his teleport to get back to lane, so that is not going to be available to fight in bot lane either. Instead, Mike Young just going to take this crab, going to get a mark secured for himself, and he's going to be happily chugging along.
I was about to say, are we going to have the decisions evolve? We're going to evolve to the level 2, level 3 bot lane dive instead of level 3, level 4, but we're going to play it safe, secure that mark here. Hecarim can't really contest level 3 versus a Kindred, I feel, unless a severe misstep happens, so they're going to be content just power clearing that jungle, trying to build up a little bit of CS lead since Mike Young did spend some time in the mid lane. However, Mike Young is going to take a more aggressive approach going into that Raptor camp and trying to get some vision, get some more CS made up that way.
Yeah, Kim Down going to be missing a hook in the bot lane. I feel like he should have just gone for the flay there. Would have been a lot safer play. You slowed down Morona and you're able to land the death sentence after that. But unfortunately, not able to confirm any kills down here in the bot lane. Hook going to go out actually here. Now there's the flay. They're starting to back off. Youngman does not want to follow up on that for some reason. And it's going to be Mike Young trying to go around, trying to path around, trying to find a way into this.
Pings are coming through. They are aware that Kindred's there on the ward. So they're going to be sitting pretty still. UCI's roster is going to be rotating bot side. A little bit of trade top though.
Yeah, Nar's going in. And here comes Dragoli to follow up. Clone Sheep's trying to get out of there with the pool. But unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. Does not flash. Does not commit the resources. Instead, consigns himself to respawning at the fountain. Now another nice hook for him down there. And just a little bit more trading throughout the lanes.
Some sort stopping that back is really, really good because that cannon wave coming forward is something that obviously the Zillion doesn't want to miss. They're not going to be stuck on a bad recall, or some sort already has a really huge CS lead, so recalling on that wave would have lost them a whole lot more. And then giving some sort of free reign to just ult bottom. They're already going to be able to do that if they really needed to, but since the bot lane of UW recalled, it's just going to be a CS lead that consistently is getting extended from the poke.
Yeah, right. And because Dragon Beast showed in the top lane there, during the gank on Clone Sheep, it opened up Mike Young to just take this dragon, essentially completely uncontested. That is going to be feeling really good in the hands of the laners. Ocean Drake, always going to be a favorite for people who are trying to survive poke, so I'm sure some sort and Clone Sheep are going to be appreciating that. And does mean we will not be seeing an Ocean Soul this game. So hopefully we see the exciting, the ever-loved Infernal Soul.
Everyone loves more damage, bigger stat numbers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, I remember when Cloud Drake was just the quintessential no one cares dragon, but it's come a long way. It's like watching a high schooler go through their awkward phase, and now they're not the popular kid, but they're slightly less awkward. It's interesting to see.
Yeah, right. Now, Mike Young has found himself on the top side. He is trying to move around his marks here, but Dragon Bee doing a good job of taking that away from him. Instead, he's just going to be focusing on the red buff and cleaning that up for himself. And Clone Sheep's starting to get pushed in a little bit again. He's got to be careful here. He doesn't want to overstep. Dragon Bee is top side, of course, and does not want to get ganked again like last time.
You could say that you don't want to be overly aggressive with Kindred unless you already got the snowball going in terms of invading for those jungle marks, because once that Hecarim hits 6, it is going to be a interesting duel to say the least. You can get ulted out of your Kindred ult if you try to pop it during that duel. People can rotate by the time you're trying to stall with Kindred ult, so there's a lot of things that can go wrong. I like Mike Young. Although he's been ganking a whole lot more, he is starting to fall a bit behind the CS, so he's really going to need to transition that early game aggression into a lead in one of his lanes.
Yeah, right. We're going to have to see where it's going to be, but they're starting to come in on bot lane. They just blast past the Hecarim there, didn't even see him. And then the fact that Drago was there allowed the bot lane to clear out, allowed him to get the hell out of there. And now Drago, he's coming on in. Here comes the teleport as well. Close Sheep coming in, but that's a huge gnar. Gonna hit basically everybody, doesn't even matter. The bullet time comes in, and look at all that damage for Youngbin. UCI, gotta be feeling good after that one.
Yeah, we're just gonna have the rest of the roster force everyone off this first turret, really secure some plating, and force that bot lane of UW back. I kind of feel bad for Mario because that was a really, really beautiful ult, but the damage just wasn't there to follow up, and by everyone clumping up, trying to get the melee damage to get the melee hits in, Youngbin got to press R and secure a really, really good double kill right there. That's gonna be huge for laning phase. Eigenrector doesn't get to walk up anymore. They're gonna have to play the long Kong. They already got the Berserker's Greaves, so they're gonna be just trying to shove waves as quickly as possible, forcing Youngbin to stay bot and kind of babysit until that bottom turret finally cracks open and bot lane can rotate out.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be looking real bad if you're that vain in that matchup, but we'll have to see how Eigenrector's gonna do. Also, something interesting to note, Mario decided to go Executioner's Calling first, so Not gonna have as much damage, but it's a nice little tech pick. Drago finding himself in some trouble here, gonna get hooked out by Kim Down. Mike Young doing his best to DPS this out. He's gonna take down Vivatis Mori. And now Mario's trying to join the fight. Hecker is respawning. But things are not looking too good. Gonna get knocked up by the Justice Punch. Crawls out of the Kindred ult, picks up the eye, but still goes down at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was a very, very close Rift Herald fight. Gonna be getting the eye, but not much more out of it. Since Youngbin was able to get those kills early on, they're gonna be self-sufficient. They have the CDR boost, so their movement speed is gonna be enough to outrun the Vayne Lulu for the most part, and they have enough CDR to really start spamming things out here. But another skirmish spot topside.
Yep, Kim Jong goes for the hook, but can't quite land it. Instead, Vamus Mori throws some bombs. Mario Cool steps up to the arena. Clone Sheep is in a little bit of a bad spot. He's going to have to pull away, but luckily there's no hard CC to really punish him here. He's going to be able to get some damage off and activate the phase rush. Keep on running out of there. And he's going to be staying on safe. So despite multiple members responding to skirmish and topside, not much going to be gained out of that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that lack of hard CC. I feel that's going to be a problem that plagues UW even in the mid to late game where their composition should be strong, is that they don't have a really good answer to Clone Sheep or Mike Young for that matter. CCing those two picks before they can ult or really like, oh, some sort's gonna...
Some sort. From the backside, Eigenrector's gonna go into the final hour, flashes away, dodges away, he's gonna get taunted up, though, hit with the bullet time, teleport coming on in for Vamus Mori. What can he do here? He's gonna chuck some bombs and walk away, that's what he's gonna do.
I think he's gonna be content being able to walk away from that. That's still a very scary catch potential coming from Kim Down and the rest of the squadron down in bot lane. Having that lack of CC to really answer Vladimir or Kindred can be very detrimental to your team fights. You're gonna have to really start team fights on your terms if you're UW, and that implies getting a quick pick onto Kindred or Misfortune so that a huge part of DPS is taken away, and then trying to duke it out from there with the Hecarim. Another engage mid, and we're gonna have Kim Down going.
But just look at that damage coming in from some sort. He's got the extra magic damage from the first side of his inventory. Hextech Alternator, that's what it's called, yeah. And the blasting one, so nice little bit of damage. He's almost got the rocket belt going for himself there. Very, very nice. And, you know, Vamus Mori has got to be a lot more careful in this lane. He's already starting to come down with a pretty bad CS disadvantage, and we cannot afford to keep getting shoved out like that. Ooh, but here comes Mario in the top lane. Great dodge from Clone Sheep. Going to be able to evade the wallop. You know, some sorts arrive in the bot side with Mike Young. Are they going to be able to make anything happen? Nope. Bot lane's just going to walk away from UW.
Vladimir, such a slippery matchup versus the Gnar, just because all your CC is essentially telegraphed. In that Mega Gnar form, Clone Sheep can simply walk backwards, let your passive run out before starting the re-engage, and that's going to be very tough to deal with. I'm interested by the jungle picks as well, since due to the changes in the jungle XP, I'm pretty sure is it on this patch or was this recorded before?
I think it is on this patch, yeah. So the gold values did get lowered across the board here, and also the experience values for a lot of the camps as well. Krugs, Gromp, and Raptors are the ones to be hit, and they all got their experience and gold lowered a little bit, so it's going to be hurting those power farming junglers, making them not as game influencing at the end of the day.
That's why I really like this Kindred pick here, although Drago on the Hecarim was a little bit ahead to start off the match because Mike Young spent time ganking mid lane and trying to gain agency that way. It's starting to pay off in the long term. Mike Young has built up a 2-0 lead. They have the Kraken Slayer, so they're going to be doing huge amounts of damage until Gnar and Hecarim really bulk up, and even then, true damage is true damage. I feel that the ganking playstyle is going to be a whole lot more prevalent as the patch goes forward, just because you can't farm, power clear, and look to gain your lead that way. You need to be either building a lead yourself through kills or giving your laners a lead so that they can help you rotate for the invades and really put pressure on the enemy jungler.
Yeah. You know, in this patch, the best junglers are the ones that can do both. Udyr's still going to be pretty popular, but
okay, well, Udyr's gross.
that's besides the point. Right? So, yeah, bot lane tower taken very, very early, and it results in Eigenrector and Morona just getting continuously shoved in. We're seeing CS leads built across the board for UCI. 121 on Youngbin so far, and he's going to be looking extremely strong. He's finished the Gale Force. He's got the Caulfield's Warhammer in the back pocket as well for the extra CDR there. And it's a very interesting build. Definitely not something we usually see, but maxing out the CDR allows him to spam the abilities. He's got the tier for mana as well. And I feel like Manamune isn't that strong. Manamune isn't that weak actually at all. So I could see this working out pretty well for him at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're going to be wanting to have both that E and that R off cooldown as much as possible. It's not a utility ADC in any sense, but it's more, it combos into the team fight very well and complements it for UCI. You have the Vladimir ult and the Misfortune ult, that's already a whole lot of AoE damage going forward, and that allows you to fight the Vayne without necessarily having to auto attack them, right? Since Vayne Tumble can mean a whole lot of headaches for people that have that targeted CC or that targeted auto attack, because you can lose a couple members just from the confusion of having the Vayne ult alone. So really good answers. You can use the Misfortune ult kind of as a zoner, since you can't tumble out of the Misfortune ult if you're getting hit with the E. Whole lot of good answers in the team fighting, but there's still a long ways to go before we hit that late game and that Vayne power spike.
Oh, some sort hit with the Everfrost. He's going to have to Justice Punch out of there. Dodges the bomb. Kimdown's arrived in the top lane here. Maybe laying some damage out onto Mario. Cool. Oh, and the flay from the hop. That was absolutely beautiful from Kimdown. Kill going to be coming in. Clone Sheep gets charged in on. He's able to pool just in time. Drago V cannot confirm this kill quite yet. Instead, Clone Sheep's going to be healing back up. Hero's entrance comes in from Some Sort, and they're going to be trying to re-engage as the Predator has come out as well. Some Sort gets knocked up. He's dropping very low. He has to stopwatch here. Clone Sheep also dropping very, very low. Eigenrector is just going absolutely huge right now. The Silver Bolt proc. That's going to be a double kill for the UW bot laner.
That's perfect for Eigenrector right now. You getting way back into the game with that, so some good stuff there. That was an iffy dive at first, I will say. Really good damage coming from the Divine Sunder, but even then, there's so many resources in the Vladimir in order to avoid all that damage. And along with Some Sort coming in, you have the ult, you have the stopwatch to stall for time. Although in the end, they lost that fight, it was a 50-50 dive in my opinion, and they are going to get punished by this mid-turret getting taken out, which is the same, if not more valuable than getting those kills onto the Vayne right here.
Yeah, definitely opens up the game tremendously for UCI. If there's anything that Kindred wants to be doing right now, it's accruing marks, getting more powerful. Unfortunately, I don't think we can see how many marks that Mike Young has right now, but he does want to be at 4 if he's not there already. Also, they're going to be able to get the 3rd Drake and threaten Soul Point, so a lot of objectives being taken for UCI in response to that big macro play from UW. So they're going to be feeling really, really good about that. And it's going to be an Infernal Soul, just like we said at the beginning.
Everyone's favorite soul, more damage, more deletion, and with either of these team comps, you're going to see a lot of value out of it. I know everyone loves more damage in their kit, but what really comes to mind to me is the Vayne and the Hecarim for the side of UW. Divine Sunder Hecarim is already dishing out a whole lot of damage. You can really amplify that up against the squishies of UCI, but Kindred and Misfortune also known for some really gross deletion attempts. Whoever really, it's going to be a hotly contested soul, pun intended, with that Infernal, and I can really imagine to see 1 or 2 team fights and macro decisions based purely on trying to secure that.
So, speaking of Divine Sunder, how do you feel about Divine Sunder on Hecarim versus Trinity Force, if you have any opinions on that?
It has different strengths in either case. I feel that although you do get a lot more attack speed from the Triforce, Divine Sunder is more reliable. You get more of that bruiser playstyle. I'm not too sure because I don't play the champion personally how it feels, but I think you get a whole lot more burst potential instead of that sustained, I'm trying to proc Conqueror as fast as possible with all this attack speed kind of build with the Triforce. It really has to stay in the fight and sustain, and when you're up against champions like Vladimir and Kindred, you don't have a really long time window to do those fights to really stack the Conqueror before you're getting CC'd by something like Galio or this.
Ooh, but Youngman's found himself in a bad spot here for Vamus Mori. Is just going to get himself turned around on, gets rezzed out. Kimdon drops the box. bombs go out, but Gale Force will allow Youngbin to scoot on past him, and another kill picked up for UCI.
Got very, very close to that kill, but Zillion's kind of a stat check champion. You either kill him or you don't, and unfortunately, you didn't kill him in that instance, even though you did hit every single one of your CC moves. So that's an unfortunate pick. Baron is going to be coming up real soon. This gives UCI an opportunity to establish vision, get control of that topside jungle, and know where Drago is so they can position themselves towards it if need be.
Yeah, and starting to be a little bit of a problem. Youngbin being so strong, he's already finished the Manamuna. He's got some more lethality in his pocket as well to help tear through the lack of armor on the side of UW. Not a single person has a shred of armor to their name besides the plated steel caps. Actually, Mario does have a cloth armor as well, so still going to be doing a tremendous amount for Youngbin. And also, Mike Young has skipped boots and instead went straight for Collector. Interesting decision. A lot more damage coming out. At the end of the day, you don't need to move fast if you're just killing everybody in your path. Just maximizing the damage and securing the kills.
Yeah, they're actually just gonna go straight on to doing Baron as. Never mind. They were autoing that, and I got confused for a split second here. It's just gonna be clearing out that vision. But setting themselves up in this top side, you force members of UW to position themselves toward top side as well. This gives you the side lane pressure bottom with Clone Cheap and the teleport. So that's a very good position macro-wise, just forcing UW to consistently doubt themselves, check up towards Baron, and have the majority of their force in the mid lane where they're going to be sharing XP, sharing farm, and it's not an ideal position.
Right. Eigenrector's starting to catch up and close this CS gap a little bit more, though. He's going to be starting to get back into the game with the Kraken Slayer and the Executioner's Calling. It's going to be looking not the worst for him, but still a pretty significant item disadvantage. Still got to farm this up as best as he can. I think Vayne builds Phantom Dancer at this point, so will definitely help out in the kiting there. The extra attack speed going to be doing a lot to make the kiting play out smoother.
Honestly, I think Phantom Dancer is a bit of an underrated item. More players should be building that on ADCs. I remember that initial build with Rageblade, Phantom Dancer, getting so much attack speed on like Kog'Maw. Although those picks, oh, we got another pick.
Straight to the bullet time. Hero's Interest going to come out as well. Blood Dragon's already respawned and gets caught back in. And also, Mike Young has picked up a kill somewhere, barely off the screen. Eigenrector going to go down as well. Mario, the last man alive, crawling away. But Mike Young takes him down for a double kill, and that's going to be a clean, all-out ace for UCI. They're going to shove this one on in.
Yeah, so much damage. So much damage coming out from the UCI roster. They're going to gain, honestly, way too much for this. They're going to be able to secure that Baron if they so choose to, but actually, they might just opt for the Soul instead. Alright, they're going to go for it.
They're going to do both.
Really? Why not both? They're going to take Baron, they're going to be able to take Dragon Soul, and that's 10k gold difference for all the objectives said and done here. You can be playing for this scale potential for Vayne, but you can only say we have late game for so long before you're in it. It's at the prime time when they should be at least able to work at this team price, but there's so many ways for this turn to get shut down. You have the Galio taunt alone that really forces you to step back and not walk into the back line. So if UW wants to recover this fight, it's going to start with getting vision control, shove these lanes out in the next 20 to 30 seconds while you have time, like they're doing so right now, and then really hope UCI missteps into a part of the jungle you have warded, or sit under your Nexus turrets, because there's no way you're going to win a head-on fight against the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, Dragon Soul, Baron, UCI has got everything they need right now. And things are just so hard for UW. Like you're saying, so much ambient damage. Look at Eigenrector. That was just barely a few tricks from the bullet time. That's disgusting. Youngbin securing that kill, taking away any hope from UW here, and they are just going to be shoving on in right now. Taking out this turret. Everybody's got to pull on back to defend this, and we'll see if University of Washington can put up a fight right now. Clone Cheap not going to be there quite yet. He's just going to be pushing the bot side. Meanwhile, UCI continues to force down these waves in mid.
very, very, very dominant performance in this game. No real leads given up, and shutting down Eigenvector, the only real answer. Huge!
Oh, here comes Gnar. Pushes everybody towards the Nexus Tower, but that's exactly where Substork wants to be. Big taunt coming out as a result. Eigenvector trying to do as much damage as they can, but they will get shut down and collected by the double collective duo. UCI still so hard to defeat in a fight right here, and they are going to be coming out victorious completely and utterly.
That was honestly a really good fight considering the situation from the UW. The only problem was just lack of damage at the stat checks, and also when you get hit with that collector, you're going to be sent away to the fountain once again. And that Kindred L2 denied so many kills from Eigenvector in that team fight. Even though they dropped in that fight, they were going to lose the match anyway. It's rough. Beautiful attempt. I think that was a really good salvage opportunity. It just didn't pan out for them.
Yeah, just the gold difference way too high there, and it's just stat diff at that point in time. You cannot overcome the sheer attack damage that a lot of those characters have. So unfortunate. Let's see if UW is able to keep it up in the next game, and we'll see how they're going to be doing. But it's going to be just a minute before we get into that. I think that getting a lead taken advantage of before the 10-minute mark just puts the nail in the coffin in a composition like that. When you're trying to run Vayne and you do fall behind, it's very, very difficult to kind of scale up and retain the value and the power that you want to as you move into the late game. And not only that, the fact that you're not able to shut down the Vladimir as hard as you would like to enables UCI's scaling backup plan to come online as well.
Mm-hmm. They were initially in the lead, getting that kill topside on the Vladimir, so that was a very good job trying to set the momentum in favor of UW. When they went for that dive bot side against Vladimir, you have to take into account things like, all right, Galio exists in the enemy team, so you have to know Galio's going to look to ult whenever possible. Already, they were able to try and answer that kind of cleanly. They had to deal with both Vladimir stalling on the turret and the stopwatch from Galio. Although they were able to get that double kill on the Vayne, you have to think, okay, Vayne's still behind the Misfortune. We can't have a full-on 5v5 just yet. How do we take this advantage in Vayne and push it somewhere else? There's not a whole lot of clean-cut answers to decide in the moment, so I feel like they just started to stagnate, and then UCI took advantage of that, scaled even harder. Kindred was super far ahead. Mike Young did a good job of recovering from that tempo, or that lack of tempo in the early game in comparison to Hecarim getting the CS lead and the kill. And then after that, it was just cleaning up the Dragon Soul, cleaning up the Baron, and ending the game. So we'll see as we get into game 2 right here. We're going to have a side switch. So UCI going to be starting on the blue side, UW on red, and we're going to have UCI up 1 game in the series.
Yeah, let's see what they're going to pull out this time. Substork on the Galio again for that global pressure, that big CC. This time we got Youngbin and Kim down on the Nautilus and Jin, so another very aggressive, kill-oriented bot lane. I really like to see this. Morona probably took away the Thresh in the draft, because we've seen that either banned or picked versus Kim down. So I want to see how Morona's going to be able to make this work.
Yeah, no one likes letting Kim down have that choice, and we could see it a little bit in the last game. Some very good hooks, really setting that bot lane up for success. I love watching Youngbin on Jin just because they don't play him like they're an immobile carry. They get right up in your face, really liking that Gale Force to really bait engages in, dash away, or confirm kills with it, so always good stuff. Caitlyn on the other side. Caitlyn is one of those choices where you have to know the champion very well to see some success in comparison to the top tier ADCs, right? A lot more effort into the execution before you get the same results. But that being said, you can really take away of a game just from the early to mid if you're able to end it on the Caitlyn. We're gonna have a little bit of a stack here, and Kim down might be itching to go over there, might not, but the members of UW are ready for it.
Yeah, instead, it's going to be UW starting to be a little bit more aggressive here. They're going for the level 1 invade, and some sort's going to see him. Drago starts up the Raptors, and meanwhile, UCI just going to be taking this red buff. They don't even care that the Raptors are going to be taken away. Instead, Drago takes that. He's going to hop on out. So little bit of an unfortunate situation for Mike Young, but we'll see if he's able to invade or make this up in a different way and still keep on track for himself.
I'm not too familiar with Lilia clears, so I'm not gonna like say what's up. Oh, we got to fight bot side though.
Ooh, great hook there, getting a lot of damage onto Eigenrector. Young been getting the third and fourth shots off, but he does get a lot put onto himself as well. Caitlyn, the early buffs are starting to show the power here. You just have a little bit more attack damage, a little bit higher attack speed scaling as well. Things are going to be looking pretty good for Caitlyn players in these upcoming patches, so I'd like to see it. Let's see how it does versus the Jhin in this game.
It's interesting that Drago's path right there. I don't know if hitting the double Raptor camp. I guess their pathing is going to be enemy Raptors, my Raptors, come bot side to get another engage.
Flash forward though, Youngbin gets ignited and Drago's coming straight on in here. He's so fast, but he's not able to land the Swirl Seed, and Youngbin's able to get out of there. Kim down, left behind though as the Noble Sacrifice. Eigenrector gets ignited, he's going to be ticking down, but does not look like it's going to be enough. And Kim down's running through the river here. He hooks out, but he might just get sandwiched between Vivamus and Drago. He's going to end up not giving an extra assist over and will get taken down for first blood. So, interesting path from Drago, but it does result in a very early kill.
Yeah, it was a long-winded kill, but it is a kill to say the least. Not being able to pick up that Jin's a little unfortunate, but take what you can get. Getting first blood on a Drago is going to be very nice. Try and build some more tempo versus Kha'Zix, because Kha'Zix is going to be very happy to leap and sweep and jump and do all those sort of Kha'Zix things that do once they get the lethality items started up. I thought that initially Drago was gonna path towards Raptors, go top side, and okay, another engage.
Sunsword sets this one up, but there's so much damage coming in from Vivamus. Mike Young not quite close enough. Vivamus cleans up the kill and flashes out, but follow kill from Mike Young. Drago gets hooked out here, and he will be CC'd and slashed down once more by Mike Young. It's a pretty nice double kill there. Mike Young on the Kha'Zix definitely wants to have that.
Now Mike Young's gonna do all the stuff I said earlier, but much sooner. They're gonna be able to back and get a Dirk really soon. That is a little unfortunate considering the lead you just built onto Drago. You trying to play this sort of early game composition, you have the Lucian mid to do a lot of damage and really force some sort to not have a fun laning phase, in the hopes that when he starts to try and roam, Vivamus can either push waves in mid or rotate as quickly as some sort. Even though they can't match the ult, they can walk over.
Yeah, no, Sunsort's going in again. Probably just a little bit of a trade here. Be able to get a nice bit of damage off him. Vivamus is starting to get heavily damaged in these trades. He only has the tier and the longsword to his name, aside from the Scarlet Thorns blade. So, not the greatest amount of combat stats. Of course, an AD carry is going to get destroyed when it comes to a Galio jumping on them.
I feel that you have to really think about the idea behind trades. You're trading health points in order to gain an advantage somehow. Whether that advantage is just gaining health points in comparison to the enemy laner, or forcing them off of CS. Although Vivamus has a CS lead, if they keep losing the exchanges just purely on health, which I feel like they don't have to, in that matchup, Lucian can do a lot of work versus Galio if they avoid eating the entire trade when Galio's like dashes off cooldown. But unfortunately, they're just going to be accepting the CS advantage. Some sort does have double cloth armor, so they're going to be taking even less damage going forward. You're kind of missing your window of opportunity to really use the Lucian pick to shut down Galio. So once Galio starts ulting across the map, starts teleporting, you're really going to have to find a way to stay relevant. Whether it's forcing those waves into the Galio's turret or rotating.
Oh, Youngbin gonna get hooked out, but he's able to cleanse it very nicely. Gonna just scoot on out of there, and Drago cannot confirm anymore. Great hook from Marona, though, to try to set that one up. Putting the thresh pick to good use, but here comes Mike Young back into the mid lane. Some sort gets the taunt out, and Mike Young's gonna be finishing off this kill, but some sort barely goes down as well, and now Mike Young's in a little bit of a bad spot. Drago's trying to follow up in the mid lane, but cannot make it in time. Mike Young, sneaky bug, gonna sneak on out of there.
It's the cockroach that you saw on the wall, you try to grab a shoe to kill it, and they just crawl right away into the darkness of the river. So Mike Young's gonna be nice and happy. 3-0, although we did drop some sort in that dive. That's not Mike Young's problem. He's gonna be able to snowball this game regardless, and Galio does what Galio does. Whether they're 0-3 or 3-0, it just depends on how quick you go. Burst people down.
Oh yeah, Mike Young gonna be jumping in here. The hero's entrance to back him up, but he's ignited. He's dropping very, very low. The damage coming out onto Vivamus will be enough. Fantastic follow-up from some sort there. Now they're trying to chase down Drago as well. And Nars coming in from the top side, and it will be Clone Sheep to hit that boomerang and clean up the stray deer.
Drago caught like a deer in the headlights. That was a very, very good exchange with some sort dropping down. The lead has been set in the jungle for UCI. This is one of those games where you can just sort of coast. As long as you're keeping up with the macro and keep taking on these objectives, you'll be fine. I see a lot of bot lane pressure being exerted on UCI though. Eigenvector really doing his work with this Caitlyn here.
Yeah, nice play to get some damage off on him down. Clone Sheep in the top lane has almost confirmed the kill onto Mario Cool. The last rock will be flashed away from. Has to spend that, but came down in a really, really bad spot here. Some sorts arrived on the scene to try to help his buddy, but the one final pilt over Peacemaker will seal the deal for Kim Down. Some sort can't quite confirm this kill either. It's gonna be Drago showing up to just be a deterrent and prevent Morona from going down as well.
You see Vivamus trying to rotate down, but it's already too late. The fight's over and done with, and that's another disadvantage from when you're running the Ignite over the teleport in these sorts of 5v5 environments. Although you get more of that solo kill potential, if you don't solo kill, you're gonna get outscaled by the TP plays, and I feel that some sort is in every single fight for the most part, minus that one kill topside with the Lilia and Gnar. Really making that pick work for the UCI roster, and I really like that. Some sorts of champion pool, it's like the Twisted Fate, the Galio, just both of these very selfless sort of picks that really set up fights like this one here.
Okay. Some sort's always willing to put himself straight on in the middle of the action, set up the CC. Came down though, just gets called on. Flash forward from Vivamus will not be able to seal out the kill, and some sort is going to block Vivamus from advancing any further. Saves his brother Mario, gets into the fight as well, but he cannot confirm this kill. Kim Down being a little bit cheeky there, landing the hook at 20 HP. Manages to set that one up for the rest of his team as well. So things continue to look up for UCI. They widen the gold gap even further.
Saving Private Kim Down from the clutches of the enemy team in the river. No culling, no amount of hooks will stop them from getting their homie in the bot lane out of there. And Kim Down's gonna be feeling very happy. He has also been all over the map, similar to some sort. Drago is trying to just take advantage of Lilia's clear speed, trying to keep up the best they can. And they're doing a good job keeping up CS-wise, but they're still going to be down in the XP because they haven't been exposed to as many kills as Mike Young has. And that's going to be tough going forward because Lilia's main advantage is that really quick clear speed and being able to come online much more quickly than the enemy jungler.
Yeah, right. No, Drago going to get taunted out. Gnar just jumps in and so much damage just piles onto Drago right there. He only has the stopwatch in the inventory and it's already been used. I think this is the LCS build. But Mike Young's going in on top, tries to deal some damage to Mario Cool. The Rift Herald most likely will be going in there as well before plates fall down. The turret is very low as well, so it could potentially be first turret too.
That is going to crack things open wide for UCI. Mike Young feeling nice and comfortable in Drago's jungle at this point. You gotta be very careful of the dive here topside. This turret does not have a whole lot of HP. It might have just enough to stave off this dive though. As we can see bot side, Eigenvector really wants to find some sort of lead or agency. They're gonna dive anyway.
Yep, turret will be going down. Stun comes out onto Mario Cool. And the turret falls for first one from the game. Mike Young gonna follow with his leap. Goes invisible, resets the passive, gets the slows, and that's one more rock thrown on the fat man's face. Mike Young helps clean up another kill. It's going to be 5-0-1 with an incredible amount of kill participation as well. He's going to be so strong. Buys the Duskblade as soon as he backs, alongside a Null Magic Mantle to help him out versus the Gragas and the Lilia damage. And man, you do not want to run into this guy. Oh,
Flash
but
engage.
Flash in from Morona. follow up by Dragon Kim down, gonna go down, but Clone Sheep arrived on the scene as well. He's got the stride break to slow this down. Curtain Call comes out onto Eigenrecht with the 4th shot. Will not manage to hit, but Clone Sheep does, and he will continue chasing under the turret here. Morona goes gold. Clone Sheep very low, taken out. Some sort has got to find his way out of here as well. Gonna adjust his punch on back towards Youngbin. And Vivanis cannot quite follow this one up. He arrived a little bit too late. Potentially get dove out by the UCI squad. Takes a lot of damage here. Some sort tries to get the taunt. Does manage to get it just as Vivanis dashes away. And look, he's so low here. One more Jin W could finish this one off. Or it could just be Mike Young from the backside. He's going to get slept. Takes a turret shot. Bounces out of there. And Drago's not able to do enough from that far away.
Eigenrector and the rest of UW really want to force an advantage bot side. That was not your last Bastion, but it was one of those like clear ways to get back into the game. Force Youngbin to spend time bot side regaining farm. But Youngbin's coming out of this bot lane at least 2-0. And although they're not beating the Caitlyn in CS, it doesn't matter as much. Caitlyn isn't providing as much utility in the mid game if they're not ahead in pure damage, right? Whereas Jin, you can initiate fights with R, you can catch people with W, and overall you're a menace whether you're super far ahead or if you're just keeping up with the rest of the team. That's one of those things I feel is deciding what the meta bot laners are. It's a lot about being able to contribute to the team fights even if you're not insanely ahead. Picks such as Kaisa or Jin, even if you're going even in laning phase, once you get your items, you're going to provide a lot of utility. Or in Kaisa's case, you're just going to be broken and doing a lot of damage.
Dude,
even
Kaisa's
if
utility? What?
Dude, Kaisa's utility is damage, so...
Okay, that's fair. But Sophor's gonna get hooked out here, doesn't even matter. He's gonna continue walking forward, taunts out the Lilia, and look at all that damage piling on as well. Some sort's gonna pay for this one with his life, though. The slap from the back guy will take him down. Now, everybody from UCI has arrived on the scene. They're all piling on here. The curtain call goes on to the two very low members of UW. The last shot will not hit, but Mike Young jumps in, finish it off. He's very low.
Oh,
the ace in the hole gets targeted on him, and a nice shutdown goes over to Eigenrector as a consolation prize for University of Washington.
That's really nice on the Caitlyn especially. You want to get some really big beefy items, chunk people out with the Caitlyn so that you can have this sort of long range menace have more agency in the fights. Because if Caitlyn's not able to be a threat, so quickly can get dive on once the cooldown's off if they don't have the net anymore. I really feel for Eigenvector wanting to just get enough items so that you can be threatening in the team fights, because the rest of your team just won't have enough damage out of their kits to really make an extended team fight valuable to them.
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation here. You are just going to be at a tremendous disadvantage. You're able to take the dragon, but things are still looking very grim. Almost a 5k gold lead for UCI here, and now we're seeing Mike Young with the Quicksilver Sash in his kit as well, allowing even less opportunities for University of Washington to CC him. But Eigenrecht puts out a lot of damage on the Young, forces him out. Some sort finds himself in the middle of 3 people once again and forces the retreat from University of Washington. UCI claiming out the jungle, making sure that nobody can walk in here, and it makes it just a very difficult place for University of Washington to exist.
Right here is where the lead really starts to get out of control. You don't have any means of contesting UCI, even if you catch them on vision right now. So it's just trying to farm these side lanes up, giving up whatever resources you need to in order to stay alive and not give up a death timer that leads into Baron, right? Right here, we're going to see some nice pickups from Eigenvector. They're going to pick up the Shard, a little more kiting potential, and a little greater ability to stay back in the team fights, which is something you really want as the ADC. You want to be staying alive for as long as possible, even if you're not dishing out an insane amount of damage, especially when your front line could be falling very quickly and you need to be kiting, walking backwards perpetually, and hoping that you can stall the fight out.
Mike Young walking past mid lane here. Eigenvector autos him out, but Drago's going to be the one to land the swirl seed here. Mike Young falls asleep. He's able to cleanse that one out with the Quicksilver Sash he just nearly acquired. Stride Breaker from the Clone Sheep goes in as well, but not going to be able to land much. Morona hits the hook, and now the Hero's Entrance has to come in to follow this up. it's a very nice engage from the University of Washington, able to make UCI expend their resources. And now without Mega Gnar available, they're not going to be able to use the Gnar ultimate. Here comes Mario. He's going to be landing some CC here. Morona follows up with the hook, and Mike Young's going to be taken down. This is looking like a good fight for University of Washington now. Kim down to the in the face. Curtain call forces Drago back. Some sort. Once again in the middle of literally everybody, lands the damage, lands the taunt, sets this one up for Clone Sheep to start going crazy. He's going to be jumping in there, but knocked away by Morona. Young Bin finishes off the kill, and that is going to be the ace for UCI.
That was a very, very extended fight right there. In my opinion, UW doesn't have business trying to start fights like that. They were able to pick up some damage on Gnar. But pulling the trigger when so many members of UCI are fed was a bit of a 50-50. They were playing it exceptionally well, I will admit. The positioning on Eigenrector in their team was phenomenal in that fight. The problem came once Clone Sheep hit the flank, really split the members up, and then once Eigenrector fell in that team fight, there was no damage answer from UW. UCI just mopped the floor from there. Rift Herald is a possibility, a lot of options to start cracking open the rest of the map for UCI here, and you're gotta have to go into hardcore recovery mode. You gotta start farming these side lanes, trying to make space so that when the push comes from the Rift Herald, you can at the very least not lose more than an inhib turret.
Yeah, the Rift Herald will be threatened quite a bit here. It's actually surprising that it's not 20 minutes yet and the variant's not up. It feels like this game has just been going so fast, such an accelerated pace. You know, UCI's already got 36k gold on the board. 28 in pockets of UW, and it seems like we should be further along than we actually are, but still very early on. It just shows how much fighting's been going on and how much each team has been able to take. Duncan gets dashed onto, but the Vans Morning does not want to continue this. Dodges the root, dodges the hook. Kim down's gonna be on the path. The Vamus has to flash out anyway, but the phone goes down. Not too much damage to be had. Kim down's gonna be pretty tanky thanks to the locket. And Clone Sheep trying to go for the ultimate there. Drago finds himself in a bad spot. Mike Young's trying to run him down. Does not have to commit to sleep to get out of there. Is Clone Sheep going to be able to finish this one off? Probably not. Mario's arrived to zone him on out. And Drago luckily gets to keep on prancing back to base.
The lantern that Morona threw into that bush psyched Clone Sheep out right there. I understand why to ult that though. That was a funny interaction, and earlier topside Vivimus did a really good job with the fancy feet. Although the damage isn't there just yet, they're still walking up Razor's Edge, really dodging the skill shots. Rift Herald getting dropped bot side though. This is going to be something that UW want to clear as quickly as possible.
Sleep comes out. Drago's going to walk straight into Kim down the depth charge and some sort straight on in the back line here. Clone Sheep is there, but he doesn't have the Gnar ult. He's used it earlier. Does not even matter. Here come the resets from Mike Young. He's got those wings. He's going to be jumping all over the place thanks to those big Air Jordans. Now, Clone Sheep, the whole gang's going to finish off that kill in the back line, and UCI able to score yet another ace. Continues breaking down the base from University of Washington.
They going for the end here? Looks like
they can. They absolutely can. With 5 seconds left on the next respawn, Drago has to try to make this happen by himself. The only item in his inventory is going to be an already expended Zonia's Hourglass. Kim down flashes forward, hooks him on in. Mike Young slashes and bashes him apart. Cullen comes down. Kim down will fall. Mario is going to be there, the last man standing, along with the rest of his team. Has to try to make this last stand here. But UCI starting to jump back in. Look at how big that Gnar ult is. Clone Sheep going massive, setting this up for UCI. Now, after this, they're going to be able to end the game for sure. Look at that huge team fight for UCI. Incredibly well played. And the Nexus will subsequently fall.
What a turnaround on that Gnar ult, really sealing the deal there. That was an exciting conclusion to that matchup. GG's to both teams there. There was a lot of opportunities for UW to try to hit the comeback, but unfortunately UCI really took their lead and just rolled with it.
Yeah, absolutely. UCI putting out an extremely dominant performance, bringing their overall score up to 4-1, making the Anteaters proud for the homecoming game. Things have got to be feeling pretty good in the comms now on the team after they finish that match. And, you know, what a great ending. UCI feeling good. So yeah, Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the match today. We will catch you guys next time.